How's it going, everyone? My name is What Do You Don't Care My Name Is, and we are now in the end of 2022. This has been an interesting year, one that a lot of people were worried about going very badly, but thankfully it seems we've avoided the world from going to dog shit, at least for now. But anyways, today I'm going to be giving, once again, my top 5 worst and best films of the year. Now, for this list, I'm focusing on films that got a lot of build-up, a lot of hype, and are films that were either a success or a disaster. I'm also focusing on films from one category, meaning only one from horror, one animation, video game, superheroes. You get the idea. Now, this is just my opinion, so if you feel that the film I mentioned shouldn't be on the top 5 worst and best, or that you feel it should have been another film, then you can comment below and give me your reason why. Also, apologies in advance. I am dealing with a cold. 2022 wanted to give me one last fuck you before I end the year. So apologies if I sound funny, but you now know why. So let's start off with the top 5 worst films of the year. So we start off with number 5, Minions: The Rise of Gru. Alright, so I've mentioned before, I'm not a big fan of the Minion films. I liked the first Despicable Me movie, and I thought the second one was fine, but their heavy reliance on these little trolls started to really get on my nerve. So when I found out they were doing another movie of this, I thought, oh god, here we go again. Now, the animation, again, it's not bad, but the plot is pretty much, predictable, boring. You already know how it's gonna go. Heavy reliant on these little trolls has not been, been great, especially when a lot of the jokes have been pretty much the same jokes they always keep doing, immature little jokes that only work to make little kids laugh. And again, there's nothing wrong with an animated film that is more towards kids, but if the adults are going to be in these films to watch them with their kids, you gotta give them something that will allow them to get through the film without losing their mind. It was bad. It's definitely one of the worst anime films of the year, and it's still horrifying me to know how much money this movie made, because it just means they're making another one. Number 4 is Uncharted, and look, I have tried playing this game before, and when I heard they were making this movie, I thought, okay, this could work, especially since a lot of people thought Mark Wahlberg should have played, Nathan Drake. Unfortunately, they gave it to Tom Holland, who, again, is not a bad actor, but honestly, every time I see him, all I can think of is just, you're Peter Parker from Spider-Man. I can't really see you in anything else other than that. Again, not a bad actor, but kind of really big miscast, and a lot of people were very disappointed in that. The rest of the film is okay. Like, the plot's fine. It's just, every time I see Tom trying to play Nathan, it's just, no. I just can't see you in that role. It also doesn't help that the other characters, are also pretty, disappointing. You don't really care about it. You already know how it's going to go, so it's not really going to lead anything special. So, yeah, this was a disappointing film, and honestly, they should have had changed it when they had the chance, but they wanted to give this young man an opportunity, and it did not pay off. Number 3 is Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore. Alright, after how the last film went, you would think, okay, we're going to stop making more of these films. But nope, Warner Brothers couldn't control themselves. They decided we have to make another one, and they did, and man, is it bad. This was, I think, the worst of the Fantastic Beasts films. Now, I didn't mind the first one. I thought it was okay, but the second one was really bad, and I thought they couldn't have made this worse, but they did. The plot was really terrible. It wasn't that great. I didn't really follow what was going on with the characters, because it kept going to these characters and then it moved on to something else. The plot just kept moving around and stopped making the characters we thought weren't the main ones, and just made them side characters, but then decided, oh no, wait, these are the main characters. I'm like, are you kidding me? I love the Harry Potter films. I love the Harry Potter books, but there's got to be a time and place when Warner Bros. Has to realize you can't milk this franchise for all it's worth, because it's getting to the point where people are really done with it, and you really need to stop. Because after how this film went, especially how poor it did in the box office, yeah, I think it's clear they really should stop making these films when they have the chance. Number 2 is Halloween Ends, and this was probably one of the most disappointing films on my list. Mostly because when they brought back Halloween in 2018, I thought, oh my god, this is awesome. They went back to what made the first one a success. I was so excited. I was looking forward to this film. Then the sequel came out, and I thought, okay, it's actually not that bad. It's a little bit more violent, a little bit more bloody, but okay, it's not that bad. I mean, you ended it kind of weirdly, but okay, surely the next one will do well, right? Nope, it did not. Not only was this one of the worst of the Halloween films, but they basically focused it off of Michael Myers. You know how people complained in the last one that Jamie Lee Curtis's character was hardly in the film? Well, this one, Michael was hardly in the film, and decided to focus the attention off of Michael to a new character who's supposed to be the new boogeyman. And I don't know what to tell you, but this guy is no Michael Myers. I did not like him. I was not a fan. And look, he's not a bad actor, but it's Halloween. The focus should be on Michael. He's on a freaking cover along with Jamie Lee Curtis. You would think it should be focused on them. So, yeah, really disappointed with this film. I was not happy with it at all. Again, the kills were not bad, but again, after how this film has been going, how this series has been, the direction they've been going with it, I really was left disappointed with how this film ended, and it ended in a whimper. And number 1 goes to Morbius. And this film, I don't know how you could have effed it up with this movie. I don't know how you could have. I mean, you had some very good actors in this, but unfortunately, the plot was bad, the characters were bad, special effects were bad. You also add in the fact that this film was PG-13, so you knew it was going to be bad. But you also have to add in the fact that they were trying to also trick people into thinking this was going to connect to the MCU. Because, that's pretty much what Sony's been trying to do. They've been trying to rely on the success of the MCU, because when they tried doing it their way, it didn't work out well. And so when they tried doing it their way, it has been terrible. It's been a disaster. This film was such a huge disaster to the point that the people in charge thought people loved the movie, and so they re-released it and made less money. So yeah, this was really disappointing. This was really bad, and I hope they don't do another one, because I can't see them doing another one after how bad this film went. Alright, now that we've gone over the worst films of the year, and also pretty much killed my lungs while I was doing it, let's end the video with the top 5 best films of the year, shall we? Number 4 is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I love the first film. I was a little iffy about it thanks to the original trailer, but thankfully they fixed it. They gave us a fantastic film, and they gave us, once again, a fantastic sequel. I loved everything about this film. I love the animation. I love the fights. I love Ben Schwartz as Sonic. I love Colleen as Miles. Bring her on was a great idea. I could not hear any other person playing that role except her. Idris Elba as Knuckles was, perfect. And of course, Jim Carrey stealing the show once again. I loved him in this movie. He did such a great job. I'm hoping he does come back. I mean, one more time, dude. We need you. But yeah, I loved everything about this film. I think this was, well, I wouldn't say it was better than the first one. I thought the first one was still great, but I thought they did a fantastic job with the sequel, and very much looking forward to the next one. Number 3 goes to Top Gun Maverick. Alright, so when it comes to making a sequel of a film that came out years ago, there's a possibility it would never go well. But this film, my God, not only did it blew our expectations for this film, but it just left us in awe. I loved everything about this film. I love Tom Cruise reprising his role. I love the other characters as well that he's working off of. Love some of the people they brought back as well. The way they shot this film, like, amazing. They really did an amazing job here. I mean, you can tell there were times when it wasn't special effects. Like, you could tell that everything that we saw was real. I mean, they went above and beyond to give us such a great film. I was very happy with this, and glad that it did better than I thought it was going to. Awesome work. Everyone did a fantastic job, and very much looking forward to, if they end up doing a third one, I wouldn't be against it, but I thought this was a perfect sequel. Up next is number 2, Prey. This film, I mean, you want to talk about how Top Gun Maverick was a great sequel. This one was a great prequel. I loved everything about this film. I loved how, they brought in these actors who were of course, Native American ancestry. And, of course, you also had this film going back to its roots. Not what we ended up getting with the last Predator movie. This one went out of its way to make sure it followed what made the first one great. Loved everything about this film, from its cast to the pretty much awesome fight scenes as well, and the death scene. Like, oh my God, this was amazing. I loved it, and loved the ending as well. And when I heard they were going to do another one, but have it be set in a different time period, I'm like, yes, keep doing that. This was awesome. Very much happy with how this film went, and very much looking forward to seeing what else they have in store, because if it's anything like this film, the Predator series is, has just gone, a second lease on life. And number 1, the best film of the year, and I know there are going to be some people who think it should have been this film or that film. For me, it was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I love this film. I think it's mostly, like I said in my review, it was the actors who made this such a fantastic film. I mean, not only did they pour their heart and soul into this film, but you could hear how emotional they got anytime they mentioned either T'Challa, who of course was played by the late Chadwick Boseman, and you could tell that his death really affected them all, and they used that emotion to help them in this film. I love the special effects. I love the fight scene. The plot for this was so done well. I love who they got to be the villain as well, who honestly wasn't a villain. It's just someone trying to protect his home. And I love this film. I thought they did such a great job. Very much happy with how it went. And, I can't say anything else about it except for the fact that this was worth the watch. And honestly, if you have not seen this film, you should, because this was a fantastic film, a great sequel, and everyone involved gave it everything they had for their friend who passed away, after being with them for such a short time. But he left an impact. They all were happy for what he did, and so are we. This was a great film, and honestly, in my opinion, the best film. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have a different opinion about my top 5 list for best and worst, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, check my Facebook page and my page as well. Keep up to date with T3 Media's channel and their content as well. Subscribe to their channel and keep on supporting them, guys. I'll see you next time to give you more love and more entertainment. I'll see you all in the new year. Until then, take care, be safe, love y'all, and goodbye.